Hey everyone, and welcome into a 10-minute breath work for the stressed out woman. I want us to take a moment to settle in. So go ahead and make yourself comfortable. If you are sitting down, that's great. If your chair has a back on it, you may want to just relax into the back of your chair, keeping your posture straight though. You want your spine nice and long and lengthened so that we have plenty of room to expand the lungs. And before we begin, I just want to speak directly to you, to the woman who feels like she's just carrying so much. I want you to start by checking in with your stress level right now. On a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate your stress level? 1 being no stress at all, I'm doing great. 10 being I'm stressed the fuck out. And as we come into this place of awareness, I want you to also check in with the stress level in your body, because we can often feel stress in our body. It shows up a lot of times as aches, pains, tension, tightness, stiffness. And so just checking in with the body and seeing if you can see where you feel that stress in the body. Maybe you notice that the area between your eyebrows is wrinkled or furrowed or tight. Maybe you notice that your jaw is clenched. Maybe you recognize that your shoulders are up toward your ears and not actually relaxed and released. Maybe they feel really tight. A lot of times the shoulders get really tight. Maybe this shows up as a headache. Or maybe you notice that your breathing is really shallow, that you're having breaths that don't extend beyond the chest, that your chest is rising and falling, but those breaths aren't getting really deep into your belly. Maybe it's a headache. Maybe it's your back, your hips, your feet. Or honestly, maybe it's just the feeling that you just can't catch a fucking break. Stress isn't only in our minds, it lives in the body. It lives in our tissues and our cells. It lives in our nervous system. It lives in our breath, and it lives in the way that our muscles hold on without us even noticing. They get tight. They get stiff. Sometimes we're clenching and we don't even notice it until we actually take a minute to pull ourselves into awareness. And so that's what this time and space is going to be for today. For the next 10 minutes, I invite you to do some breath work with me. Some simple breathing that's going to bring us into a more calm and relaxed space. Breathwork is one of the fastest ways to calm stress because our breath is kind of like the remote control for our nervous system. When the breath is short and shallow, our bodies tend to think that we're in danger. This is a pure activation of our fight-flight response. But when our breath is slow and when it is deep, our body can begin to feel safe again. We send the signal to the body that we can relax, that rest and digest can take over, that we are not in danger. Stress is a state that makes us feel like we are in danger. So today we're going to spend 10 minutes practicing some slow, deep breathing and teaching our bodies that it's okay to soften. And of course, more than anything else, as I am always trying to preach these days, it is okay to rest. So go ahead and lie down, or you can stay in a comfortable seat if you prefer. And if it's comfortable for you, and if you are able to, you can go ahead and close your eyes, or you can just soften your gaze or lower your gaze down. And we'll begin with just checking in with the breath. So just seeing how your normal rhythm of breath is right now. And maybe since you clicked on this audio, your breath has already started to calm down. But maybe you notice that you're breathing heavy, or that you're mouth breathing, or that your breaths are really short and shallow. And after that observation, I want you to go ahead and just attempt to slow those breaths down just a little bit. Nothing dramatic, nothing outrageous. Just see if you can extend the inhale through your nose and extend the exhale through the nose. Again, inhale, just trying to extend that inhale a little bit, nice and comfortable, right? No numbers, no counting seconds. Exhale. But just finding what is a comfortable pace for you to begin to slowly breathe. Exhale. The one thing I want to ask that you do as you're taking these breaths is make sure that that breath is getting into your belly. Exhale. And so what that means is as you take that inhale, allow your belly to press out, allow your belly to fill with air, then the chest. Exhale. And we'll deep breath in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Deep breath in and out. And we'll see if we can deepen the breath even more, just a tiny bit longer. Breathe out. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. And as you keep up with this pattern, we're sending this message to our body that we are safe, that our nervous system can relax, that we can step out of stress mode. And as you breathe, I want you to notice what happens in your body. Maybe you notice that your shoulders drop a little. Maybe you notice that your jaw unclenches just a little bit. Maybe you recognize that any tightness you might have felt in your chest or shoulder softens, even if it's just a little bit. You might notice that you feel a little bit more relaxed. And even if these are just subtle changes, we want to pay very close attention to that. And we'll stay with this rhythm. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. Good. And I'll have you keep going at your own pace, doing your best to stick to this rhythm. And just know that if you begin to have intrusive thoughts or, if the mind starts to drift off to something else, what we do to ground is we bring it back to the breath. So we bring the awareness back to inhale and exhale. And I want you to think in this moment, as we are releasing any stress that we might have felt from today, from this week, from this month, from this year, or maybe even from this last couple of years that's just sitting on you. Every inhale is our chance to receive. So as you inhale, you can call in and pull in beautiful things, positive things. So allow that inhale to be affirmative for whatever it is that you need. And every exhale gives us a chance to let go. And I know that might sound cliche, and we hear, release on the exhale. But if you actually pay attention in this moment where your awareness is pulled in to your breath, doesn't an exhale feel like a release? There's something really magical and beautiful about the feeling of an exhale. And so think of every exhale as that chance to release, to let go of whatever stressful things feel like they are burdening you, even if you are just saying in your mind, I'm letting this go. I'm no longer allowing this to stress me out. I choose not to be stressed by this. And see if you can deepen that breath just a tiny bit more on the inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. We're going to take this last deep breath, and I want you to try to pull this in as deep as you can. Inhale, inhale, inhale. A little more. Open mouth. Exhale. And you can begin to allow your breath to return to its normal rhythm. Just taking notice of what is happening in the body as you begin to return to just a regular flow of breath, no longer having this intentional, lengthy inhale and exhale, but just falling back into your normal pattern of breath. And you may find that your normal pattern of breath has shifted or has slowed down, and that's great. And we'll just shift really quickly into a body scan. So as you continue to find this normal pattern of breath, I want you to bring your awareness into different areas of your body. So we start at the crown of the head, and we just notice any tension. Notice where our thoughts are at in the moment. We always want to bring our attention to that area on our forehead and in between the eyebrows that tends to furrow when we get stressed or upset or frustrated. And we'll bring our attention to our eyes and to the jaw. And on an exhale, I want you to allow for the softening of those places if they still feel tight. And we'll move that awareness down into the shoulders. Notice if they're lifted up toward the ears still and tight. If they're rounded forward, concaving the chest. Or are you sitting up nice and tall and straight? Have the shoulders relaxed and fallen away from the ears? Is there space in the neck? And on an exhale, if they are still tight, let them drop. And we'll bring your awareness to your chest, to your heart space. How does your breath feel here? You'll notice the rise and fall of your chest, checking in with your heart. We always want to check in with the heart. And then we'll bring that awareness down to the belly and allow the belly to be soft as you breathe. Can you soften the belly as you breathe? As you deeply breathe, as the belly rises, can you soften here in the belly without compromising your posture, right? We soften the belly, but we don't collapse the body. And we'll scan down into the hips and into the thighs, into the knees, and we're just noticing any tightness, any tension. And if we still feel any there, we want to exhale and see if you can let it melt, let it soften. And we'll bring our attention all the way down to the feet that ground you into the earth every day, the feet that carry you through this life. And just checking in with the feet. And here, if you have time, this is a good place to give yourself a little foot massage. Give a little love to your feet. And we'll take one more slow inhale through the nose. And we're going to give a long, audible exhale, sigh out through the mouth. And we'll check in one more time on a scale of 1 to 10. How stressed do you feel right now in this moment? And just notice if that number has shifted from where we began, even if it's just a little bit lower, even if it went down by 1. That's your body showing you what's possible when you slow down and breathe. A really wonderful practice is to have this space 2 to 3 times a day, every day if you can. I want to thank you for giving yourself these 10 minutes to practice. This is always here for you anytime stress feels too loud, anytime your body begins to feel too heavy, too tight, too much. You can return to this breath and this rhythm, this place of stillness. I want to thank you for allowing me to hold this space for you today. I want to thank you for showing up to intentionally rest. I hope that you do feel a little bit lighter, a little bit softer, and a little bit more at ease. Remember that stress don't have to run the show. You always have the power to reset, and it really does start with just one intentional deep breath. I'll see you guys next time.